Hi, this is Wilson. I'm here today to present to you the spiritual sword of seven deeper stars. So this is one of the spiritual object which we would make at times to be given to some students, devotee, clients. In our practice, if they request this sword for the use when they are traveling for protection, and also to prevent any sort of accidents or disaster that may befall them. So this is one of the very popular spiritual object which I would concentrate and make. So before we start, I'll just let you know there is a certain criteria, as this spiritual seven-star deeper sword can only be empowered by those with the lineage initiation and oral transmission of the mantra, which I'm going to give you through Zoom online today. And once you have this, you may be able to practice it with my permission. So first thing, we're going to come back to this, as this is the second practice based on Lü Zhu Xianshi, which is one of the eight immortal, Lu Dongbin. He's famous for his sword fighting skill, also known as the sword immortal. Some people call him the sword immortal. And in the practice of the spiritual sword, there are a few. So this is just one of them, which I'm going to show you how you're going to make, how you're going to concentrate. And it's quite easy to just make one, even for your friends or any family members when they are traveling, when they are going to go far away for a short trip. You can give it to them, present them. This is about the size of, I think, less than, I think, 6 inches. So it's quite easy to be kept in some places, like in your home, or it could be even be kept in your wallet or even in your purse. But you have to be careful when you're traveling in aviation. They may restrict such objects. So you can either hide it somewhere when you check in your luggage. Don't carry with you when you are going through the flight. Okay, let's start. The use of the spiritual sword. So this sword is an extraordinary sword. When consecrated, it can remove any evil presence within your vicinity. It can prevent you from any calamities or catastrophe. An auspicious object, when carried, all sorcery or black magic are defeated and sent back to originator. So it means that if anyone who tried to harm you, when you use this sword, right, it will be sent back to the originator. The sword can also be dipped into a glass of water to create holy water, sprinkle or spray to eliminate any unholy places, to be drank when one felt unwell due to spiritual encounters. So this is used by some feng shui practitioners in the past, where when they usually go for audit, feng shui audit, sometimes, if they are not lucky, they bump into stuff, where they would fall sick, and then they have to go through a lot of different prayers and ritual to get rid of it. So for myself, I would carry this, this small piece of sword, which is blessed, on my altar, and I will bring it with me whenever I travel for feng shui audit, or even if I go out for any short vacation or trips. So you can also use this to bless water. So what you need to do is just get the yin and yang water. You probably know by now what is yin and yang water. So place the sword. You can dip the whole sword into it. So like here, this sword is consecrated already. It's written with the red cinnabar ink, but it doesn't matter if you dip it into the water. Some of the ink may be removed, so it will not make the sword less power, even if the words have been removed, because it's already been embedded into the sword itself spiritually. So it doesn't matter if it's gone, even the writing is over time it fades, so it doesn't matter. So once you dip the water into the water, the sword, you can actually recite the mantra of Lü Zhu Xianshi, the one which is given here, the last mantra, where we can recite this mantra to further enhance and bless it, and ask for the blessing of this deity, so that if you encounter anything which is unholy, unclean, you can cleanse it with this spiritual water. So the best thing is you can carry with you at all times. Okay, so this is one of the best protection I can give you. So it can also be placed at an altar. You can put it at home, business premises, workplace. The miracles possibility are such that I can just tell you there's so much, it would manifest. And then in compiling all those feedback from clients and students after they use the sword, if you have in the past used it, or if in the future you use it, do give me some feedbacks, after you use the sword, so we could share with more people. So not every practitioner can make an efficacious spiritual sword. The reason is the power of the sword comes from the 7 deeper star and Lü Chu Xianse blessing. So you do the sword, you also have a certain degree of proficiency. It means that you need to do the mantra, you need to do the talisman, you need to do all the right procedure. But I'm sure you guys can do all this, because at this level, at this mentorship program, we are at the final level already. I think each and everyone would have no, I would say, like, no difficulty in drawing talisman or even reciting mantras, because everything is already been given here. So let's move on to the next one, the next page. Okay, first thing, you need to get the piece of metal. You can actually buy this. I have a supplier who can actually make this for me. They will use stainless steel, a small piece of stainless steel, where they would make it approximately about 6 inches. If you see here, there is a ruler which I try to measure the size of it. So they would engrave onto this small piece of metal, and then they would cut it out. So it's not sharp, so it's not going to cut your hand or anything. So it's really a nice piece of work which they have done, and then they engrave all the markings of the 7 deeper star and the head of the lion on the sword surface. So if you see here, the first thing you need to do is you buy it, and then you can actually buy, but most of the time I think the most economical one would be the stainless one, which is the one I show you, the stainless steel. Silver is more expensive, and then I don't think you could find it in the market. Not many people would order or commission it, because it's going to be customized. Copper or other metal materials. So it may be possible, if you can find those, then you can use that. Okay, but most importantly, you must have the marking of the 7 deeper star. So you have to make sure that you have this symbol on it. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. Without that one, you can still use it, but you need to do the marking. Okay, so approximately about 6 inches. It can be slightly smaller or larger, plus minus around that size. So the best way is you have to engrave also the lion head onto it, and then that one is actually to suppress evil, the lion head. Okay, so there's a purpose of doing that as well. I'll say first thing we're going to do is we're going to start the ritual by using a brush dip in Cinnabar ink, and then you draw each and every one of the star with the name of all the 7 deeper star. By now, I think all of you would know the name of all the 7 deeper stars. Start from the first one on the far left here is Kui, Zuo, Huan, Xing, Bi, Fu, Piao. So this is the 7 deeper star, the name. So if you see here on the first copy, I've already written this onto the sword. If you see, this is how I write everything here. So it may be a little bit small, to write, but you try your best to write everything. But even though it's not clear, it doesn't matter. As long as you have written the name onto it, it's done. Okay, so don't think too much about it, and then you think that it's not clear, it doesn't matter. Okay, more importantly, just write it onto it. Even you have write it very small. Okay, all the words, write every single one of it. So watch my video, which I've already sent you the link when I sent the email to you guys. So there will be a video that will show you how the whole procedure is done. Okay, let's move on. Draw the 7 deeper star talisman to bless and empower the sword. Okay, so this is the first talisman that you need to draw, written in red cinnabar ink on yellow paper. Burn the talisman and circle the clockwise on the sword 3 times. Okay, so the 7 deeper star talisman is here. I'm going to show you. So this is the one, the 7 star deep. Okay, the deeper star talisman. So this is the first one. So I'll go through with you this talisman later. So I'll just go back to the procedure above. Let's go up again. Okay, then the next step, you need to draw the talisman, right? I just show you the talisman, then burn the talisman, circle clockwise on the sword 3 times. Okay, then the next step, recite the deeper star talisman mantra, which is already given here, to bless the talisman either 3 times. Then the next one, recite the deeper star mantra 3 times. And then the following step is Lü Chu Immortal Master Mantra to relieve suffering and disaster. So you need to recite 21 times minimum, or 108 times if you want to do it more. So it's fine. But for a start, I would suggest 21 times just to ensure that you have charged it with enough energy. And then place the sword on the altar for at least 21 days. Okay, this is all the procedure. Let's go to the steps. The first step, we're going to do race. We go back to the talisman. Okay, I'm going to explain to you what are the talisman. So this is the talisman. You need to draw this talisman on yellow paper, red ink with cinnabar, mix it up, then draw the symbol of the three pure ones, then write command Feng Lü Zu Xian Se. Lü Zu Xian Se means Lü master quickly responds. Means Lü Zu master means, sorry, this is immortal. Immortal, okay, then this is teacher. Okay, so then check lane. So you draw this is like a calligraphy style check lane. Then draw again the symbol of the three pure ones. Then this symbol and Jia. Jia is actually heavenly stem of the 10 heavenly stem, which you probably know when you study astrology. And then in the center, you need to write everything here. Start with this first word. Qing means it's green. Long, green dragon. And then Shen, Jun means the spiritual lord or spiritual god. And then Hu, protect. Jian, sword. Da, great. And then Chen. Chen is one of the early branch of the dragon. And then Wei, which is power, and Ling is spirit. Okay, so everything is drawn here. Then we go to the left one, which is the 4 character here. We call it Ya, Sa, Si, Chu, means suppress or suppress killing sa qi or evil qi, self remove. Okay, then the next one on the right, this is qu xie zhen sa, means exorcise evil, God, killing sha. So this is the meaning of it. Then at the bottom here, you need to write the Gallbladder, which is Lü Zhu Xian Se Su Su Jiang Lin Gang. Lü Zhu master swiftly descend to the altar, or Gang means the 28 people star constellation. Okay, burn 1 talisman in the beginning of ritual, circle sword clockwise 3 times. So this is done already. Yeah? Then the next step, you need to go back to the first mantra, which you're going to learn about how to recite the first mantra. So we're going to do the first mantra, which is this one. So this is the first Deeper Star mantra. We call the Deeper Star Talisman mantra, which is to empower the sword. Okay, so watch the video, then you understand how it's done. So I'm going to recite 1 time, and then just to let you see how the whole procedure is done. 双灵结荣永保长生太宣三一手起正心五掌神君各得安宁魁作还性比复飘树虎积聚如如令。Okay, this is done. So recite 3 times. If you want, you have to recite 3 times. Then the next step, recite the Deeper Star mantra. 北斗神州，北斗九成，众天大神，上朝进阙，下服昆仑，跳立杠击，同者乾坤，大溃螳螂，巨门如春，告上鱼皇，子为帝君，文去廉贞。无去破军，大奏天阶，喜入围城，何在不灭？何复不争？愿皇正期，来贺我生。天罡所知，昼夜长轮，速助小人，好道求灵，元见俊一，永保长生，善太素经，流寸渠生，圣我养我。虎我神心，魁作还性比复飘，树虎积聚如如令。So this is the mantra of the Deeper Star. Then the next mantra, which is Lü Zhu Immortal Master Mantra to relieve suffering and disaster. 即信归老祖，求陀人间苦，疾病无缠绵。安宁天永福，蛇干蛇恶之，而色罢修足，天神玉女闻，境界将无出，宝剑折光芒，煞斩遥无主， 苦如助灵丹，度尽凡夫苦。老欲家所灾，水火并瘟疫，道病饥恶临。如中风现俗，一切苦相因。择其化成土，随年随自来，将我济幸福。过去今生方，现春来恩主，一生宋永宁，全家富龙虎。右侧圣灵长，万魔现束手，太上如帝君，寂寂如如令。So this is all the mantra. Then the translation is above us. Here, I take refuge in elderly Lu Chu, seek to relieve from human suffering, not lingering with any disease, achieving tranquility with the blessing of heaven, the 10 heavenly stem and the 12 early branches, the 28 constellation, the heavenly gods and jade maiden confers his blessing, the precious sword emits light, slays and execute demonic clans, the calabash stores the pill of immortality, removing all the people's suffering, imprisonment and all sorts of disaster that cause ones to be locked up, water, fire, and plagues, weapon, enemies, invading armies, disaster, all dangers and calamities. When traveling, all sorts of suffering and disaster are transformed into soul or dust. Every time you recite, I shall manifest, bless me with a lucky auxiliary star. In the past, I had made an affinity with you, Li Chu Immortal, regardless of which direction I am born, you appear to me by your kindness and grace, my master. Once recited, forever peaceful, the entire family subdue the dragon and tiger. Reciting the spiritual name, defeating 10,000 demon, Taisang Yu, Emperor, may this order be executed. So this is the translation of the above mantra. Okay, then we come to the last part. So this mantra, or we call this talisman, is to empower further the sword. So if you watch in the video, I've placed, let me show you this one, sorry, this one. Okay, to bless or empower the sword. So this is called Cao Jian Fu. It's like you train the sword to be more powerful, you train the sword to become efficacious. So Cao Jian means you are training the sword to be powerful. So this talisman, you need to draw the talisman in advance. So in this copy, I have used one piece of paper and I split it into two. If you see there's a line here, I fold it. And then I can actually make two talismans out of one piece of paper. So you don't really need to have the whole piece, So you just need a small piece of it. And then remember to affix the seal of the Bagua and the 28 constellation, write the name of all the 28 constellation. Okay, so this is the one that we use it. So the purpose of this is when you draw the whole talisman, you put it into the urn where you burn the paper and then you place the piece of sword on top of it so that you're actually burning the piece of sword, the paper. When the talisman is burned, you're burning it. Watch the video, you know what I'm doing there. Then when you're burning the whole paper under the sword, you should recite the mantra of this thunder deity, Hong Ti Ti, Hong Ti Ti, Hong Ti Ti, until it's completely burned off the paper talisman. So this is something we do for 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, or 49, 108. So it really depends on how many days you want to practice. So if you want to do it for 21 days, then prepare 21 pieces of the talisman. So if you want to do it for 7 days, then just do 7. But the most powerful ones are 108 days, where you bless it for almost 3 months and before you use the sword. So every day you just burn one talisman, but then you don't have to do it consistently. If you miss out a day or two when you're traveling, is fine. As long as you burn up the number of talisman that correspond to the number of days you leave it on the altar, then it will work. Let's say 108 days, then make sure you burn 108 talisman. Okay, then you remove it and you use it. So this talisman is something where we use it. It's just like you empower the sword while adding the power of thunder into it. It's just like a blacksmith making a sword, placing the sword into a furnace of fire until it's flaming red, then hit it with a hammer. In the spiritual realm, when we use talisman, we are infusing the power of the 20 constellation into the sword. So you could fold the talisman to half and draw two talisman one piece of the paper, draw the 20 constellation as the gallbladder, at the bottom talisman. Okay, so this is done in the whole procedure of the full video. Watch the video and then you see the instruction being given. But more importantly, I'll just tell you a story about why I love to use this piece of salt. The reason is that there was one client, he had known me for quite a number of years, the entire family. Then one day, the husband came, or the spouse came to me and asked if the wife is going to go into labor. Is there anything I can give her? But then at that time, I didn't think much about it, so I declined to give him anything. But then when she went into labor later on, I think that time was end of the year. She went to labor sometime in November, a few years back ago, and she was supposed to be delivering the child in a day or two, but then there was a delay and she had to stay in the hospital. And the thing happened was when she was in the hospital, she was lying on the bed. She saw an apparition, probably it's like a spirit or a person that would be sleeping next to her, on her bed. And she heard the voice of this lady. She says that, why are you sharing the bed with me? I'm here. You should leave, And she was so afraid, was when she heard the voices, and then she saw the apparition, which is just beside her. And she called upon people like the nurse, and then they came, and then she was telling them she was really afraid, and they couldn't do much, but some of them says that we'll accompany you. I'll just sit here with you for a while, because it was like in the midnight, then she just tried to pretend to be asleep, because she felt like it's kind of embarrassing to have one person watch over you while you sleep, so she tried to sleep. And then the next morning, when the family members came, she told the husband, and he says that you better get something from Wilson, because I can't sleep the whole night, there's something there, and then it's been harassing me since. Okay, so the husband went back, and then he called me and then asked if there's anything I can give, So at that time, I was thinking of giving her the talisman, but I think it would not be as powerful as the sword. So I had one of these in my altar, and I gave it to him, the husband, and then eventually later on he went back to the hospital and passed it to his wife. So I told the husband how to use it. So I say just place it under the pillow of your wife. It would do already, doesn't matter. So when she had it, she kept it under her pillow, and then she tried to sleep. But during that night, right, nothing came forward to disturb her. There was no apparition, there was no sound. She slept very soundly, and until she delivered. And to this day, right, the piece of sword is still with her. She haven't returned it back to me. So I just gave it to her as a gift. And she told me that there were numerous occasions when she would use the sword. And then she's a travel agent. She travels a lot. She would go for trips, and then she would bring people on tour in different countries. She told me this is really a good object, a spiritual object, which she will never abandon. Anywhere she goes, she would just bring with her, and then whenever she sleeps, she would either put it under a pillow or just beside the table, in the hotel. And so far that there was no encounter, she have met any disturbance or any apparition or disturbance. So this is why I want to share with you this spiritual sword. And there's another one which I would like to tell you is how you use the spiritual sword. That there was another client that told me that whenever she feels unwell, she would just dip the sword into the water, and she would just drink the water. So it helps her a lot whenever she feel unwell. And I know that it's all spiritual. It's not the normal condition where she would drink the water. She did tell me that after she went for a funeral or maybe a wake, or sometimes she would come back and then she would feel sick, and she would use this blessed water to drink. Okay, so this is for today. I'm sharing with you. Have a good day. So thank you again. So please watch the video. Everything is there. Take care. Bye-bye.